Dynamic, articulate, perceptive, courageous, outspoken.
Welcome back to the dojo, y'all. Welcome back to another reaction. This time, we're checking out Serafina XO. This is why I quit gig work, Instacart, DoorDash, and Uber Eats. I'm done. Now, I was thinking about getting into gig work when I had my car, but I didn't really want to put like miles and miles and wear and tear on my car just for a couple of dollars. You know what I mean? So when I thought about it and I put two and two together, it just didn't really make sense for me to do it because I had a luxury vehicle and I wasn't going to be driving all type of miles for a few dollars. That was my reason why I never really did it or got with it. But we're going to listen to this young lady's story and see what she's talking about. So let's go.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you for clicking on this video. In today's vid, I just want to talk about Instacart and DoorDash and Uber Eats and why I quit, why I gave up on all that gig stuff because, y'all, it was just too much. It was way too much. So if that's something you're interested in watching, please stay tuned. Alright, y'all, so I did make a list in my phone just to give me some, pointers about what I want to talk about in this video. I pretty much want to share my honest experience with, gig work and why I made this difficult decision to quit. Well, it really wasn't difficult, let me be honest. It was not a difficult decision. It was honestly a no-brainer. But yeah. First, I just want to start by talking about my journey. How did I get into gig work and, what that looked like? So, pretty much, I started gig work back in the pandemic, 2020. I had quit my main job that was considered a 9-to-5. I quit that job during the pandemic and, I needed some extra ends. So, I started to do Instacart. That was my main source of extra money because at that time obviously Trump was giving us coins. We was getting coins from Trump and I started doing the gig work on the side and
Okay, I feel her. Like, basically it was either there was a reason why she quit her job or she was just tired of her job and she wanted to do something else. But if it was possibly because of the shots or whatever, I'm definitely going to say you did the right thing. You definitely did the right thing. I'm not going to go a whole story into that. I'm just going to say she made the right choice. If they was forcing her to take that shot and she was like, nah, I'm going to figure something out, she did the right thing. She definitely did. But like gig work, I feel like you never going to really get what it's worth for the work that you're doing. And then like tips, like you really want people to give you tips, but everybody not really gonna be giving tips like that, especially nowadays with the cost of living and inflation, and ain't nobody trying to tip like that. But I'm gonna listen to her story. I don't even know. I just was curious about, she quit her regular job and now she's quitting gig work. I wonder what she about to do.
I would go out and I would do Instacart probably for like 6 to 8 hours a day. And I would make good money. I would make tips. I enjoyed it. Honestly, it felt like a little game, especially when I was doing Instacart because it's like you got to find what this person wants and you pretty much have to, deliver the food to them. And it started off as being like a little game to me, honestly. And that's kind of what I liked about it. Then my friend got me hip on Uber Eats and DoorDash. She's like, oh yeah, you don't even got to shop for their stuff. You can just go to the restaurant, pick it up. It's a lot faster than going in the store, shopping for this person, carrying all these groceries. I'm like, okay, bet. That sounds like an even better, don't mind my hair. I'm looking a little ratchet today. That sounds like an even better, idea, because I can just go in, show them my phone, and, they'll give me the person's food, and then I can just drop it off to them 15, 20 minutes flat. A lot easier than spending 15, 20 minutes shopping for this person's groceries. So then I signed up with Uber Eats, and Uber Eats was, okay. It was exactly what I expected it to be. And, at first, during that time in 2020, I was making a decent amount of money doing, gig work and that such, since it was still the pandemic. And, people were happy that she was literally bringing their food to the door. This is something that the world never experienced. We never had it to where, you can place your order for any type of restaurant and it gets delivered to your door within, the hour. And
Yeah, that was definitely, everybody was loving that. Just getting your food, you ain't gotta go nowhere. Somebody just deliver it to you. But what they not telling you is how much it costs for that service. Because you buying the food, but you also paying for the delivery and tips and whatever else. So you gotta really kick out some bread if you get in that DoorDash delivery. That's not cheap. It don't even matter if your food was cheap, because it's just you running the bag up when you doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, and whatever else. You running that bag up. But let me hear what she gonna say.
And a lot of people were doing that. So I did gig work probably until about 2022. I took a break. One of my old bosses hit me up and offered me another job. So I did go back into the field. Still would dip and dab into, doing Uber Eats, doing Instacart here and there. And yeah, so that's pretty much like the story, how I got involved into Uber Eats and DoorDash. Yeah, so that's pretty much my story about that. And up till now, I still sometimes I'll go out and do Uber Eats. I'll still go out and do Instacart, but honestly, the money is not moneying no more. Like, the game has changed. Like, it don't even be worth it to even do DoorDash or Uber Eats or.
And that was my fear from the beginning. I'm gonna let her explain why it wasn't worth it or whatever, but I was just looking at the wear and tear and the mileage that you're gonna put on your car. You know what I mean? If you already had maintenance issues and you had things you had to take care of, you already paying already out of pocket before you even get any money. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I was looking at. I'm looking at the cost benefit analysis, and it don't look like it's a benefit because of the cost that you always gotta pay an upfront cost, because that's your gas that you're burning every time you drive. That's your wear and tear on your car, on your warranty, on your whatever, and that's your time that you're spending. Of course, you would spend it at a job, but you gonna be working 6 to 8 hours anyway. You gonna be doing it like a job anyway. So, you know what I mean? I say just let somebody else worry about what I'm getting paid instead of me worrying about it. I know, because usually when you getting a check every week or every bi-weekly or whatever, you know what you getting on that check. With Uber Eats and DoorDash and whatever else, like, it's iffy. You might not make what you made last month or last week. It's iffy. But let me hear what she gonna say.
Instacart anymore. Like, you're scraping the pot. The amount of hours that you have to work to get a decent amount of money, like, I would never. Here, let me rewind. Back in like 2021, I didn't have to go out for 8 hours. Like, that was not even a thing. I would go out for either 4 to 6 hours and bring home over $100 easy, because the orders would just keep coming in. People was actually more willing to give you a tip, like I said, back then, or they would give you some type of treat or something like that.
Of course they was going to give you a tip back then, because a lot of people was getting that free money. and a lot of people was getting COVID stimulus checks. People was getting unemployment. It was a lot of money being circulated through the American society. It was a lot of money going around, and everybody had their hands on some of it. So it wasn't nothing for people to spend $50 and then give a tip, because they had thousands. You know what I mean? PPP, loan fraud, and all that. That's where all that money came from. But the reason why it ain't money in like it used to is because ain't nobody got the money to spare now. You know what I mean? If somebody DoorDashing or Uber Eats, it's probably because they tired and they really ain't want to go nowhere. And they like, all right, I'll just DoorDash or I'll Uber Eats this. But I can't give them no tip. You know what I mean? That's what's going on. Ain't nobody got spare change. Like, everybody's like perfectly allocating their funds for what they got to take care of. We can't afford the tip. That's why I don't order DoorDash or Uber Eats. If I gotta get something to eat, I'm gonna go get it myself. Car or not, I'm gonna go get it myself.
Anything. They would give you different stuff. I've gotten a gift card before. So, you would get stuff from doing Uber Eats at that time in the world. Fast forward to now. Now when you do Uber Eats and Instacart, I do not remember the last time I gotten a tip that was cash. I do not remember the last time I pulled up to someone's house, dropped their groceries, and they're like, here's $20, here's $10. I know people say that they still get them. I guess it has to do with, probably the area that they live in, and if that person is, friendly and wants to actually give a cash tip. But everything has died down with, that era of Instacart and DoorDash and Uber Eats. Like, I've seen this TikTok, and y'all probably seen it before. I'm gonna put a little clip right here on the screen.
You tell Uber you didn't get your food?
So,
Okay,
pretty
right here.
Hold up, I'm gonna read it. Oh no, Hillside Medical Group employee fired after going viral on TikTok for lying about not receiving her DoorDash order. Dasher puts her on blast. Ooh, Hillside, Girl, trying to cheat the system. Trying to cheat the system. Got her drink right there in the background, too. She got that order. I see her drink in the background. Let's play this.
This girl, she ordered food from Uber Eats or DoorDash. I don't know which one. But this video has since gone viral. She ordered food, and then she lied and said that she never received her food. So the driver who delivered her food came back to her job and was like, hey, I delivered your food. There's your McDonald's cup right there. Why did you say that you didn't get this food? Because the driver does not receive the money, y'all. So if someone says that they didn't receive what you picked up, their order, or you forgot something, or you didn't drop it off, you will not get paid for that order. And that's like, pretty much a waste of time. And a lot of people are saying that this is happening to them. Like, it's becoming a thing where people are saying that they're not getting their order just to receive like their credit back or their money back on their card. Like, if you gotta play that game, like, you are a real piece of work for real, because some people that are doing Uber Eats and doing, gig work, they're doing it off the strength that they need it. Like,
yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all got people that's so petty out here. Y'all so petty that you gonna make them deliver your food and then say you didn't get it just so you don't have to pay that day or at all. Like, yo, it's some real petty people out here. That's why that girl lost her job for doing that dumb shit. Shoulda did it after hours. But even still, like, that's still petty. Like, that's another thing I wouldn't be able to deal with. Like, if I was DoorDashing or Uber Eats or whatever it is, right? And I drove all this way, delivered your food, and then you say I didn't do that work? Oh, nah. Like, that can't happen. That cannot happen. Like, nah, that's bullshit. Fuck that. I'd be like, nah, I'm never doing this again. I'm gonna get me a regular job. So I see I dodged the bullet with that one.
A lot of people that's doing gig work, they're not doing it just to have fun. It's not like a fun thing. They're doing it because they really need the work. They need the money. They need the work and the money. And I just think that's so wrong that somebody would even do that to somebody. It's just
petty.
blows my mind, and I feel bad for that girl because I guess whatever app that she was using, they suspended her from that app. Another thing is burn out. Like, I feel so freaking burned out when I do Uber. So freaking burned out when I do gig work. Like,
shit. It's any work nowadays. It don't gotta just be gig work, bro. I feel burnt out working any job nowadays because I'm getting older and it's like my money not getting older. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting older, but my money not getting older with me. Like, I can't really keep $1 to save my life, man. The cost of living, inflation, I'm going to keep harping on it because that's what we dealing with, bro. Nothing's cheap anymore. In your parents' day, they could go to the store, get a bag of chips, a soda, some bubble gum, and probably a pickle or whatever for $1. Nowadays, you can't. Only thing you can get for $1, you can get the hell on. That's what you can get. You can get the hell on. And this ain't no way for us to live, bro. It's hard. Shit hard right now. It's hard managing your money when you barely got any to manage. And you got all these bills piling up. Student loans, insurance, healthcare, like daycare, all types of care. You know what I mean? It make you not want to give a care. Like, man, I get tired of this shit. But this the life that we living, man.
I am tired. Like, my legs be hurting. The sun be a-shining. I be hot. I be bothered. I be hungry. And it's just like, it's just, I'm overstimulated when I do gig work. I used to be to the point where, you know, if someone would call me and I'm on a trip or if I'm on a batch, I would not even want to talk to this person on the phone because I tell myself in my head that this person is going to interrupt my time. I need to hurry up and get this order. Like, that's what I would tell myself. So when I would do gig work a lot, I would literally shut off the world. I wouldn't be on social media. I would just be focused on that person's order and that person's order only. I would neglect calls that I was receiving from friends and family members because I have such a one-track mind that, you know, I like to focus on the task at hand. I don't like to be juggled and, you know, talking to somebody on the phone and this is going on in my life and this and that. Like, look, I'm trying to get this order so I can get these coins. That's the only focus that I had when I was doing, you know, gig work. And after a while, I realized that it was taking up too much time. Like, it's not enough bang for your buck. You're driving, there's gas involved, there's money involved, because honestly, the first couple of trips that you do, I don't know how the, you know, Uber driver work. I never did the driver app. I'm strictly talking about the delivery ones. But the first couple orders that you do is honestly going to your gas tank, period, point blank. Like, that first $20, $30, that's your fuel for that day, like driving around. So the first couple of trips, they really don't even count. And if you do the math, you know, I've seen people do trips for $2. I've seen people do trips for $4, $5. Like, I never did trips that low, ever. A lot of people do them though, but I've never done a trip for $2, $4, or $5. The least amount that I probably done took was maybe $7. Honestly, $7. I've done trips for, but I feel like now when you log in, you're just seeing like such low budget freaking orders. They're just low budget, and
I feel her on everything she's saying. Like, I wouldn't be taking no low ball number orders either. $2, $4. Nah, like that's what I would have said the same thing, like $7. I'm not making no trip for no less than those $7. Probably would have said 10, but then who knows? I probably wouldn't have been getting no money. But like when I'm hearing her story and she telling me all the little ins and outs of Uber, I'm kind of glad I didn't do it because I would probably be sitting here saying the same thing that she's saying. I know I would be. Now, I wouldn't have to worry about tuning out calls because when I'm focused on something, I'm focused on that. I don't care what's going on in the world. It's going to have to wait. You know what I mean? When I'm really focused on something, I'm really trying to get to that bag. Yeah, I wouldn't be on the phone either. I wouldn't be worrying about none of that. I'm trying to get these coins, like she said. Trying to get these shillings. Trying to make it happen. Make it happen, Captain. That's what, yeah. I feel all that. But like, bro, the reason why it's not really hitting like it used to no more is because people ain't got the money no more. People, when the pandemic came out, everybody had money. Everybody had some dollars, man. Everybody was balling. Everybody was up when the pandemic happened, Everybody had money. But now, nobody ain't got no money because it's all going to bills, PPP loans, and whatever the hell else. People ain't got it, so people ain't really spending it like that. That's why you seeing these low numbers that she talked about. You seeing all that because people don't have it. And that's the reality.
Then there's the tip baiting where they'll put like this amount and that amount. It's just, I'm just out the game. I'm out. I give up. And, yeah, I don't want to do this shit no more. Period, point blank. I don't want to do this shit no more. It's too much. It's just too hard. And, also, I remember a time where I clicked on a batch and it had me go on a freaking toll road.
Oh.
And, they'll pay you like maybe like an extra $1 or $2 for going on this toll road, but I was so freaking pissed. And the reason why I was so pissed is because where I live, the tolls do not charge you. Like when you pull up to the toll, you don't give them money. You just drive straight through the toll, and they'll send you a bill in the mail. But when they send you that bill in the mail, if you miss that payment that they sent you in the mail by a month, by a week or such, whatever, you miss the payment. They will literally tag on like an extra $50. They'll tag on like a lot just for you missing that payment.
Yep.
And it's just literally highway robbery. So, always pay attention. Always pay attention to what you're accepting. And that definitely happened to me. Like, honestly, I realized that I was working harder and making less. And, I felt like shit. After I get done with running around all day for everybody else and then coming to home and having to do stuff around my own house and get everything together, it just was just like a mental strain on me. I'd rather get a part-time job and clock in and drive to that location, work my 6, 7 hours, 8 hours, whatever, and clock out and drive home and know that I have a check coming. Like, honestly, like, the advice that I would give somebody that's, wanting to do gig work or anything like that, I say track your expenses. Like, seriously, know how much money you're spending, know how much money you're making, and especially before you take these trips, before you pick a $2 order, is it really worth the $2? Like, you know what I mean? And don't rely on it as your only income, because gig work is just like, it should be used as a stepping stone when you're falling on hard times and you can make money. But more power to anybody who does this full time and likes it. If that's what you like, do you.
I hear what she's saying. Man. Like, it's basically what she's saying is her journey, her story with DoorDash and gig work and all that, it's run its course. She's tired of it. She don't feel like doing it no more. She giving all the cons, some of the pros, but I feel exactly what she's saying. And the reason why I never got into it, because I always knew it wasn't going to be worth it. because the wear and tear on your car, the amount of gas you gotta put, you know what I mean? If you working all them hours, like, you definitely gonna be burning through gas. She said that's your gas for the day, $20-$30. You know what I mean? So remember, you gotta go there and back. Like, all the amount of money that you gonna spend trying to get the money that you making, I just knew it was never gonna work out, bro. Now, it probably was back in the day, but this ain't back in the day. This a whole new day, and it ain't looking too good.
I'm nobody to say don't work here, don't do DoorDash, don't do Uber Eats. Do what makes you, comfortable. But gig work is not for everybody, and it damn sure wasn't for me. And it will really wear and tear your mental health. It will wear and tear your car, your vehicle, whatever you want to call it. Also, I do know that there are other apps like for medical couriers, and I think there's one called Roadie, to where you can do like other stuff other than delivering food. You might get like a box of freaking wood and deliver the wood to somebody. And I've heard that they make pretty decent money doing like trips like that. Plus, like the medical courier, you might have to bring some type of medication or vials to somewhere. And I've heard that they get paid. I've heard that they get paid pretty decent. There's other options other than, Uber Eats and DoorDash and Instacart. There's just so many other options than those. And they're becoming just such a low grade. They're like low level. Like, they're almost like lower than freaking McDonald's, if you ask me. Because I've seen some McDonald's workers get paid a decent amount of money before. I definitely have. And, compared to DoorDash, compared to Uber Eats, it's like you're literally scraping a pot. Also, there's been times where I've made, wait, let me turn the air off. There's been times where I've made maybe $240 one day. The next day I try to go out and make the same amount, and I might only end up with maybe $40 because I'm just sitting around and I give up.
Damn.
And I just want to go home. Like, the money is so inconsistent. It's very, very inconsistent. There's good days, there's bad days, and yeah, just know that. Alright, y'all, so that is my video for today. Thank you for watching this video all the way through. If you made it this far, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be reading all my comments, and I will be responding back, so make sure you do that. And until next time, I will see you then. Bye.
Okay. Well, I'm glad she gave us her perspective on Uber Eats and DoorDash and Instacart. It's nice to have somebody else tell you about what they went through and on their story and on their journey. But like I said before, I didn't want to do it because I knew I was going to be putting too much wear and tear on my car. I already had a job, so I wasn't really pressed about it. You know what I mean? But right now, I probably would do it if I had a car. Yep, I definitely would. But we're thankful that other people give us their experience and tell us what it was like, so we don't have to go through the same thing they went through. So, hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Professor Hawk signing out. Hawk Sensei bids you adieu. Hope you enjoyed this reaction. Toodaloo.